Hey y'all, this is All of Destiny. In this video, I'll be sharing with you all how I gave my mom 2 feed-in braids while she was on spring break. Before I began, she used the Dark and Lovely Permanent Hair Color in Natural Black number 372, and she applies this only to her gray roots as they begin to come back in. I don't really keep track of how often she does this. That's kind of more of her thing. I don't really document that for her, so I'm not sure how often or how long she let it sit or anything. Honestly, I was kind of in the back doing my own thing while she was doing all of this once I was done getting the clips that I needed. So she just applied it, she's letting it sit and stuff, and then I gave her some conditioners to use. I gave her this OGX Moroccan one that I normally just really use to wash and condition my wigs with, and then I gave her the Paul Mitchell conditioner because she did apply a dye to her hair, so I really wanted to make sure she conditioned it very well. This is the, what is that? I applied the Giovanni blowout styling mist to her hair, and then I'm just going to layer that with the Sulfur 8 light oil moisturizer. I'm not redoing this voiceover. That's a whole 17 minutes, which will turn into 34 if I do it twice. So keeping it pushing, I'm just going to blow dry her hair. I know you all will ask. All of the products are listed in my description box down below. Please check there, okay? Because I got you. And this is the Infinity Pro by Conair blow dryer. I'm using the universal anti-attachment that I purchased separately. This will get her hair nice and straight before I braid it.
Was that crisp and pretty? Y'all stay tuned. All of this to give me right. Why my thing ain't found?
I don't know, Sweet Pea. What are you doing?
Okay, there you go. Y'all stay tuned. All of this to get me right for my spring break. Get me ready for my 2 braids. Look, so y'all know video is coming. Y'all stay tuned, and it's coming. Say hey, All of Destiny.
Hello, Sweet
Yeah,
Pea followers.
I got an Instagram story featuring All of Destiny.
Hey y'all, it's All of Destiny, and today.
Hey y'all, it's All of Destiny. Hey y'all.
Hey y'all, it's All of Destiny, and today.
Hey y'all, it's the mom of All of Destiny. It's supportive mom.
I put that at the beginning of my video. So to better distribute the product throughout her hair, I've divided it into 2 different sections, and then those sections I basically separate again so that I can make sure I'm distributing these products all over, taking some more of that hair grease and applying that to the perimeter, and as I blow dry that, it's sort of like it presses it into the hair, if you will. I'm using this hair straightening brush. This isn't a thorough review on it. If you want to see that, I've done that on my channel last year, May of 2018, so I'll link that video down below. But this is just a quicker alternative to flat ironing my mom's hair. I'm just going to brush it through. That way when I braid it, it's like nice and sleek and it's not puffy, ugly braids. See the difference in what that may have done to the hair before and after. Want to do this all over. So now I'm going to go ahead and section my mom's hair out, and I'm taking some of the Let's Jam by Dark and Lovely, the Condition and Shine. This is the orange one, so it's the extra hold. I'm just going to take this on the back of the red tail comb, and I'm gonna apply that directly onto the part. Yep, onto the part. What does this do? I saw other YouTubers do it, and it basically gets your part really straight, and it separates all the hair that should go to the left and to the right in those respective places. I'm going to take the 24-hour Edge Tamer by Ebin, New York. This is the ultra super hold, so I'm just going to apply that in that back section because I want to make sure that it really holds in the back, and then I'm using the jam to do small sections and apply that onto the hair. And what this does, instead of trying to sleek the hair down only by applying this around the perimeter, by going inside of the hair, as I begin to brush, everything is going to get really sleek and smooth. And yeah, you could say that I could have skipped the straightening brush for this, but no, that step was still necessary. See, look how smooth. Look at that. Look at that ponytail. It's going to be so easy to braid her hair, and it's going to last her the entire week. So I started off with the comb, and then I moved on to the dimming brush to smooth this through her hair to sleek it down. Relaxed or natural, I would definitely suggest trying out that technique to prolong the wear of your braids. Okay. If you want them to your waist, get this. This is 28 inches. Be really long. But she's not going to get that. We're going to use this. If you want super long braids way past your waist, use that Q pre-stretch braiding hair. You won't have to feather it or cut it or anything, but my mom didn't want hers that long, so I'm going to use this one instead. I'll link the video down below from when I used that pack that's laying on my bed. If you can see it, when I did my 2 feed-in braids, it'll be in my description box. Basically feather the hair. Feathering the hair, which is just basically pulling it like I'm doing right now, that basically will help as we get down towards the end of the braid. It's going to make a fade, so it won't be like thick the entire time. It'll fade to be super skinny. So taking my time showing you all how I'm sectioning out the hair because I get so many questions about this whenever I scroll through my old braid videos. I took about 9 different sections, and as I'm separating the hair, I don't individually count these strands or anything, but I will tell you all that your first piece that you separate out is the smallest. Each piece that follows gets larger in size as we separate them out, so we have a total of 9 pieces. A little louder for the people in the back, 9 pieces of hair will be fed into this braid, and I'll be using EcoStyle gel to help me to sleek out the hair, and I also wanted to perfect the part once more. Some people, when they do the braid, they don't apply any product, they just braid the hair. I like to have something to work with. I'm not going to cut out my mistakes, that way you all won't assume that I did this perfectly in 17 minutes. This is the edited version. So I'm starting off really slow, one, because my nails are done. If you know me in real life, I do not braid when my nails are done. It's kind of hard to do. So I'm taking a really small piece. Really, I could have done like 1, 2 cross and then add it in, but I was just trying to really like get a good grip on it first before I added in that first piece of hair. You can't see my thumb, but once my hand gets into a position where my pointing finger and my thumb are touching, I basically sit the hair that we're adding in right there, and it kind of like combines with the left leg and the right leg, and then you have that middle piece, and you kind of braid, and then I swing it around. Here I'm sitting it in. It's in between my pointing finger and thumb, and then I braid, trying to keep the hair detangled as well, swinging it around, and now I'm going to continue braiding and keeping the hair detangled as well. Since I had my nails, I figured I would use them to my advantage, and I'm using that to kind of part and grab the hair as well. So I'm trying to pull and make sure that everything is nice, snug, and tight. Braid, keeping the hair detangled. I think I went ahead and went again because I didn't like the grip I had, but I was supposed to add another piece in right there if you want. So sitting it again in between my pointing finger and thumb. If this isn't good for you all, just listen to my explanation for now. And when I do that second braid, my angle on the camera was much better. So I'm applying some product, especially as I get closer to where my mom's hair begins to get. As I'm running out of my mom's hair, that's when I really began using the product, because I want to make sure that her hair stays locked in. I don't want her hair sticking out of the braid as they get old. So I began to apply more and more products. I brush it down. I use some foaming mousse. I use some gel. Whatever I have to apply to the hair to make sure that there is not a full line to be identified of where her hair is different from the braid. So I'm continuing this all the way down with those 9 pieces that we have, being sure to keep everything just nice and keeping the grip that I have on the hair or on her braid the entire time. I'm keeping that the same, because you can look at a braid and tell when someone was braiding a little loose in this area or tighter in that area. So I'm applying some foaming mousse and all of that, because if you can still see my mom's hair, we're coming to the end of that. So I want to make sure that it's locked into the braid. This may be the last piece that I'm adding. I'm tucking it underneath. It's in between my pointing finger and thumb. I really kind of exaggerate me putting that piece in the front because it helps me to see the difference in where it is. I braid, then I grab it, and that one gets added into the middle braid, and then you basically continue. I'm picking up some of the gel. I'm dipping into the EcoStyle gel, rubbing that along the hair, some of the foaming mousse. I just like to slap these products on here really heavy, or what seems like really heavy, but you don't want to go light on your products and then only have your braid last you for a day. So no extra hair was added in after those 9 pieces, and I'm just braiding all the way down to the end. By feathering the hair, it keeps it from being blunt as it is when you open the package, and then that helps the braid to get super skinny as we go all the way down. I could have feathered longer than what I did, so I did kind of have to like cut in the hair just to kind of like take away some of the bulk, but it's all good. So to do her edges, of course, because your hairstyle is not complete if your edges are not on fleek, I'm just going to go ahead and use my double-ended little brush and comb that I purchased at the beauty supply store. Again, all of the products, I will have them in my description box down below. Once I'm satisfied with the way I've laid her edges, my mom doesn't really like too much done to her edges. She feels that it may pull the hair out of the braid, so I'm just going to leave it there, and it just applies some foaming mousse to lock everything into place. Now we're moving on to the next braid, and my mom is going to help me feather out the hair.
It's easy to do each piece. Pull it like this.
So after unplaiting this portion of hair and then cutting off the rubber band, instead of putting it all in my hand and feathering it, we decided to keep it as 2 separate pieces. This gives me and my mom 2 smaller bundles of hair to work with and will be more precise at feathering it and helping it to fade than if I had all of it in my hand trying to feather one big chunk of hair, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to go ahead and separate out my pieces instead of combining it with my mom's pieces. For whatever reason, I don't know, but her combing it out on top of that little cape that she's wearing, I guess because it's silky, it's not so much friction, she was able to comb it out very well. So if you want to comb out the hair versus just shaking it, try to put it on something like that. So I went ahead and separated out my pieces, and I'm also keeping in mind that as I separate my mom's, they still need to grow larger. Like, I'm not starting back over making small pieces, I'm just continuing. Since I forgot to show you all my pieces to count them on camera, and now that I'm editing this I don't remember, I'm going to hope that I have about 8 or 9 pieces the same way. But the reason that I know these braids will be similar in size and thickness is because the portion of hair that we unplaited matches the first portion of hair that we unplaited. So since that's the same density of hair, if that makes sense, there's no way that my braids could not be the same thickness. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much, maybe that makes sense to you all, hopefully. So yeah, just gonna go ahead and brush that back through with the dimming brush. I use a dimming brush over like a boar bristle brush just because I feel like it sweeps through the hair better for what I'm trying to do with distributing the product. So another alternative is laying your edges before you braid. And the reason I wanted to try this, or if I remember correctly, when I do my own feed-in braids, which I'll be doing on myself soon, stay tuned, this helps you to sleek the hair back. That way, if I'm trying to lay the edges afterwards, if you mistakenly pull something out, you can't put it back in. Or you could use the rat tail portion to put it back in, but to be more precise, it's like guiding the hair in the direction that you want it to go in before you begin braiding, so you don't have to try to move it around after the braid is already in place. So just showing you all different options and mentioning different things that you all can do better at home versus my little mistakes that I may have made. You can perfect your own braids at home by not doing those same things wrong. So catching back up to the video, swinging that around, and I'm going to braid again, pausing right there. You could also feed the hair in the position that my hand is in now, because it's like a continuous motion of your hands just going back and forth in that same way. But because I am left-handed, that's the reason I choose to swing the hair or feed the hair in on that side, because that's what feels comfortable to my hands. And again, I know someone is staring at my mom's faces over taking notes on how I'm braiding this hair. Yeah, I kind of, like I said, my nails are done and I'm just trying to grip and braid her hair nicely. So she wanted braids. I mean, do you want braids or do you not? So focus, girl, so you can get your feet in braids right, or do them on someone else and get them right. So reaching for some more hair. My thumb, for whatever reason, you just can't see my thumb. Like, you can't see it, it's behind there, okay? So I'm braiding it in. That's the position that I'm talking about, when my left hand is right there but my right hand isn't holding anything. I could easily put the hair in that side, but because I'm left-handed, I don't choose to do that. I've tried it and it doesn't work well for me. So if you're left-handed, feed it in on the left. If you're right-handed, try feeding it in on the right. This clip is only sped up once, so it's 2 times fast, but I did not cut this clip at all. That way you all can see when I reach for the hair, when I'm feeding in the hair, and all of that. I felt that was more important than me trying to chop up this video and all of that. So yeah, I am using more mousse on this side. I just wanted to be sure that everything was nice and sleek. You all can also rewind back to the very beginning of this braid if you want to count those pieces. Like I said, since I didn't show the number on camera, I completely forgot. But while I have this time to just let you all watch that, I do want to mention the length of my mom's hair, just in case a lot of you all have been here for a while and it's like, her mom's hair used to be longer than that. So long story short, because I think some of you all assume my mom may have cut her hair, my mom doesn't even like when I probably trim my hair, get cut to my hair, anything like that. So that's definitely not an option for her. But my mom, when she went through menopause, or is still going, I don't, either way, however long that lasts or whatever, my mom, the reason her hair did get shorter is because of menopause, and her hair came out like really bad. Like, she told me that I could have documented like her hair growth journey starting back over and everything, but in some portions of her hair, I'm not saying this to be funny, I'm actually saying what happened. Some portions of my mom's hair, I couldn't even grip it to roller set it. Like, I had to use the smallest type of roller that I had, but then in some pieces it wouldn't really even be like that short. Like, it was just, I had never seen anything like that like firsthand before. So my mom didn't cut her hair. Menopause is why it came out. She definitely, like, had, if she had it her way, that wouldn't have, yeah, it wouldn't have happened to my mom. She loves her hair. So her hair is growing back nicely. I can't remember, that probably was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago when it initially happened. Well, yeah, just to put that out there. But her hair has been growing back nicely. As far as her not having the relaxers anymore, clearly if your hair does something drastic like that chemically, you're not going to use a relaxer because you're going to just want to like take care of the health of your hair versus not necessarily knowing what's going on and then putting another relaxer on it. At one point when her hair started getting back healthy, she did use one, but to my knowledge, she hasn't put a relaxer back on her hair, and she just really left it alone. She does do the permanent dyes now, because when she was getting relaxers, she didn't necessarily want to do chemical on top of chemical, so having the relaxer and then also the permanent dye, so she would do a rinse. So that's just a little update. If you all want a more thorough, in-depth one, then I'll probably get with her and we can put something together for you all. We're basically done at this point. You don't add in any extra hair, you just braid all the way down to the end, making sure to keep your hands nice, tight, and snug. You don't want the braid to be loose. For whatever reason, we feathered this hair a long time, but it still did not get thin enough on the ends, so I'm just using my little do you have to blank out and not be able to think right now? The thing that I use to feather and, you know, shorten my wigs when I want the hair to feather. I'm using that, and then since my nails were giving me problems, I just let my mom finish braiding it down for me. And now I'm just going to apply some foaming mousse to finish up the look.
This don't mess me up.
How is it gonna mess your hair up, Mom? See, look at that. That's why I don't do hair for a living.
Rub down the blend stand with. I mean, like
this?
Yeah. Smooth all the pins, loose ends out.
Okay.
I'm gonna take like this little piece right here and take the seal and cut this.
Okay.
After you dip it.
So I'm going to trim away at any loose hair before she dips her ends to seal them. If your hair is maybe super long, like the length of your braids, then don't dip it in that boiling water. But this is just the fake hair, so we're dipping it.
I'll take the towel and run it down.
Yeah, and then she's just going to squeeze them out. So my camera did die on me, guys. My mom had already left my house by then, but I'll show you all this little video clip that's from her Instagram page so you all can see the finished look. So you all can see that hers did come down to her waist, but I'll show you all and link my video down below if you all want even longer braids. Use that first peck of hair I showed you all. So instead of taking them down as they got old, she pushed them to one side and twisted them together and secured them with a rubber band on the end. So that's another styling option. If you all want to see more braiding videos on my channel, you can simply type in either the words 2 feed-in braids all of destiny, or type in feed-in braids all of destiny, and that should pull up lots of different ones on my channel. I've done the half up, half down. I've done 2 long feed-in braids on myself. I've done 6 feed-in braids. Let me know which ones you all think I should do on myself to start off the springtime, since I haven't braided my hair just yet. Lots of my braiding videos and my braiding playlist will be linked in my description box down below. Click on my cute little face to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or click on one of the cards to watch another braiding tutorial. Questions or comments, leave all of that down below. And I thank you all so much for watching.